Hello, I'm Robert, and welcome to Robert's Guitars and Gear. Today, just a quick video to talk about practice amps and why I'm now a big fan. So, as I started in guitar playing about 7 years ago, uh, the industry was a little bit different, and options were not quite as widespread. And of course, as a new player, what I thought I wanted was big and loud. And I was almost certain what I wanted was tube amps. And so I started to cycle through literally every kind of amp you can have. And I have had Marshall tube amps, the DSL 40C. I have a Blues Junior. I've had every kind of solid state amp. And after quite a bit of time, I've evolved some thoughts that I want to share with you real quick. First of all, don't apologize for wanting to have a solid state practice amp or even practice and gigging amp. Let me tell you why. First of all, tube amps, there's no question that they sound great, or generally they sound great. But tube amps are heavy. They are a little finicky and tubes will die and they'll need service. They're just, they're sensitive. And they really sound best when they're loud. And for most of us, playing loud enough for your tube amp to sound good is not that practical. Now, obviously, you can have tube amps that have a step down for power. You can buy a box to step it down. You can do some of these things. But I'm going to argue quickly today that, in fact, for much of what you want to do in guitar, whether you're doing like me and making content or just practicing for gigs or practicing, jamming with friends or with your band for rehearsal, even with gigs with a microphone perhaps, an amp like this Orange Crush 35RT is just great. So let me tell you why. First of all, you turn it on, you turn it off. I'm not worried about warming it up. I can jostle it some, and I'm not worried about tubes, breaking. I'm not worried about tubes overheating. Turn it on, turn it off. Number two, it's just got nice features. It's got an aux in, so I can play the backing tracks or whatever. It's got built-in tuner. It's very convenient, although you can see I have a tuner on my board. Additionally, now you get into a question, what kind of solid state practice amp? Well, thankfully, the industry has really branched into some options that almost certainly can fit what you want. The option that I've run with is what I would call a fully analog solid state amp. That means instead of tubes for amplification, it's using transistors and op amps. So it's fully analog electronically. What I find is, number one, I can make this amp go without any Bluetooth, without messing with phones, computers. I'm a tech guy. I'm an electrical engineer, but I just want to plug and play. Number two, analog solid state amps work really well with pedals because pedals, generally speaking, traditional pedals are analog. So you're just analog on analog. Now, having said that, this is not as good if you're trying to exactly recreate sounds for a cover band, something like that. In that case, thankfully, the world has a zillion options for modeling solid state amps where you can get in and tweak every parameter to get the sound you want, sound like a particular artist or whatever. My observation is because those sounds are made by, in many cases, sampling sounds, it's what we call digital. That's why they call those amps digital modeling amps. Not going to work as well with pedals. It's much better if you simply get those things dialed in on your computer with your guitar or your bass until you like it. Now, having said that, there's amps also that cross the gamut because an amp like the Boss Katana is a terrific amp. You can run it just using the clean channel and pedals, and it works just like this amp. Or you can get in and with your computer and fuss with all the Boss effects and get that modeling advantage. So really, no matter what you're trying to do with a solid state amp, you can buy one very affordably that gets you a sound you like. And I guess the last thing I just want to say here is this amp sounds great. Now, I don't know that it sounds quite as good as my Blues Junior with the Fender Clean Sounds, for example. I mean, there's just nothing like a tube amp for the rich, full sound, what we call the high dynamic range, the ratio of the loud noises to the soft. But this amp is fundamentally plays great. And I'm going to put a link to a couple of videos where I'm playing a number of solid state amps, and a video where I play just this amp, and another video where I compare the Blues Junior to the little brother of this amp, the Orange Crush 20 RT. The differences are very small, and you can get completely okay tones with this, and you can gig with this with a microphone, and I'm going to argue that you're going to sound just great. So please stop apologizing for having a solid state amp, whether you're the kind of person who just wants to plug and go and use your pedals, or if you want to spend a lot of time and get those tones dialed in with a digital modeler. You got great options and they sound great. And either way, you're going to have, generally speaking, a reliable, versatile, flexible, and easy to manage amplifier. And I'll just say one more comment. When we talk about a digital modeler, for example, that doesn't have to be in a combo amp. That can be in your pedal. So of course, at the high end pedals like the HX Stump or HX series, Fractal, these are professional grade instruments, Kemper, that give you modeled sounds that are fantastic. So whether you want to go that route because you're really trying to replicate exact sounds, or whether you want to go this route and just use your pedals and dial in the pedal tones you like, great options out there. You don't need to apologize for your solid state amp. Just enjoy. I hope this is helpful to you, and thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this content, and have a great day.